Good evening, guys. Like my hair? It's doing its thing today. It's perfect. I'm gonna wait for Shannon to get in here. She's got herself turned off so I can't invite her. We're going to keep tabbing our prayers because she caught that flu. So she's not going to be live with us tonight, but she might hop on and listen. She might chat, but she's not feeling great. So she needs to just get some rest. Gonna give Shannon a couple minutes to get in. I hope everybody's had a good week. We are on April 1st. Can y'all believe it? I can't believe it. I got Shannon. Hello, ma'am.
Hello, I am, of course, as always, finishing up my supper, so I'm going to keep the video off for a second.
Listen, we're going to need to get you better at this. We got to...
I know, and look, I went to pick up Mexican for our son and his wife and kids and me and my husband in the little town next to us, and I ran into somebody from our town that wanted to talk, and so I was running a little late. Yeah.
Listen, sometimes we run late. I'm going to go ahead and start us off on prayer. I already let you know, but Tab's not going to be with us tonight. Unfortunately, she caught that flu from Gabriel, so we're just going to pray that she gets better because, I feel like as adults, when we get sick, it's worse than when we were kids. You get over stuff a lot faster when you're a kid.
Yeah, because our age, makes it hard.
She's here just by text.
Oh,
well, we're glad to have you here, but if you need to sleep too.
Right.
So I'm going to go ahead and start us in prayer while you finish up eating. So Lord, I just thank you for everyone who's joining us tonight, Lord. And if anybody happens to be scrolling through on TikTok, that they see us and they can hear you through us and get the message about your life, death, and resurrection from us, Lord, that they may want to learn more and study more and find you. I pray that you lay your hands on Tabitha and help her to heal quickly, Lord. Take this sickness from her. As we were just saying, it feels like as we get older, when we get sick, it takes us longer to get rid of it, Lord. But we know in you we can get through things faster and healthier. And I just pray that you'll lay your hands on her and heal her, Lord, so that she can be better for all of her upcoming days, and that Gabriel can stay healthy for her as well, Lord. I pray for Shannon and her family, Lord, and everyone who may be joining our live tonight. Just thank you for leaning on me to get your will done, Lord. Just pray all this in your name. Amen. He'd been yelling at me, guys. I listened. He'd been yelling at me. And I was like, okay, fine. Here we go. So, got it done. So while Shannon's finishing up, I hope everybody's had a good first half of the week. We are starting with yesterday, which was day 3 of Holy Week, which was when Jesus got caught in the temple, was being questioned by the leaders. In our book, it is when Jesus cleanses the temple, which kind of reckons back to Monday as well. And that's because we don't do Sundays in the Bible study. Sundays are off, so we went through on Monday. We went through Jesus entering Jerusalem. So on Tuesday, it's through him cleansing the temple. Sometimes we got to flip tables, right? So I'm going to go ahead and read because so Shannon can finish up. We are doing Mark 11. Oh, you back? Okay. I didn't want you to rush and shove it down so you get sick.
Oh, I still have some left to look forward to after. Okay, Mark 11.
12 through 19.
Okay, I got you. I got my glasses. Here we go. On the following day, when they came from Bethany, he was hungry, and seeing in the distance a fig tree and leaf, he went to see if he could find anything on it. When he came to it, he found nothing but leaves, for it was not the season for figs. And he said to it, May no one ever eat fruit from you again. And his disciples heard it. Was that it?
That's it.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I'm not already crying, guys. I'll be there by the end of this, but our weather's been crazy up here.
Allergies.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Do you want me to read 12 through 19? Or just.
Yeah. 12 through 19.
I stopped on 14.
Oh.
Let me
Okay.
continue.
Keep going.
And they came to Jerusalem, and he entered the temple and began to drive out those who sold and those who bought in the temple. And he overturned the tables of the money changers and the seats of those who sold pigeons. And he would not allow anyone to carry anything through the temple. And he was teaching them and saying to them, Is it not written, My house shall be called a house of prayer for all of the nations? But you have made it a den of robbers. And the chief priests and the scribes heard it and were seeking a way to destroy him, for they feared him, because all the crowd was astonished at his teaching. And when evening came, they went out of the city.
Amen. You know, like I said, sometimes we got to flip tables. Sometimes it's hard when we got to flip them tables.
Yep.
So today starts with, have you ever settled down to pray only to be met with distractions? And that happens all the time. At my house, whether it's myself, my phone's going off. I'm like, oh, I need to write this down before I forget. My husband wants to say something. If my kids are home, they want to say something. I get distracted because my phone went off and I look at it and I read a text message and respond, and then I go to do something else.
Mm-hmm.
So I've learned when I come in the mornings and I'm doing my devotionals, I got to set my phone to the side until it's on this thing and I'm doing it live. And then I don't worry about anything else. Or, you know, my husband's pretty good about it. Every once in a while, we'll just be having a conversation. He's like, I'm sorry I interrupted you. But he's pretty good about knowing. And I think that's because he does podcasts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, I think the majority of the distractions that I get are self-induced.
Yeah, I
just
think
my
so
brain
too.
running.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
So there was a lot of examples in this book. Most of it was about kids needing things. And I don't have littles running around anymore. Unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know how you want to look at that in life. I know that I know when you had your grandbabies there, I was like, I'd probably be like, we're not going live tonight. I got grandbabies, because they'd be all up on here wanting to be on.
Well, that's the way they were, and I thought my husband was going to, take care of them for an hour. But anyway.
They wanted to be with you.
Yeah.
And they always want him. But if I'm live, they'd want me. That's just how that works.
Yeah.
So it says sometimes the distractions may feel troublesome enough, but imagine them being multiplied. This is what's occurring in the temple, God's earthly dwelling place where Jesus cleanses it in Mark 11:15 through 19. This event during Holy Week demonstrates Jesus' desire for his people to worship faithfully. It also encourages us to be a light to the unbelievers around us. That's highlighted in my famous neon pink, and underlined, because I think that that's something that we all need to remember. We are supposed to be a light and to show the unbelievers Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
That includes people that you may not wish to speak to, people.
Yep.
That's not always easy.
Nope.
But it includes them. So it says that on the surface, it might seem like to people then, and even us now, that that's an overreaction on Jesus's part. I'm over here going.
I'm going.
BC Becky would definitely have flipped more tables, probably thrown some things. He was calm. And it goes on to explain that it wasn't what the merchants were selling, but rather where. Mm-hmm. So it was normal for people to buy and purchase animals that they needed for sacrifices. That's not what Jesus was mad about. He was mad because they were doing it in the center, in the outer court, which was called the court of Gentiles. So the inner court was only for Jews. The outer court was the only place that Gentiles could worship. So by them being there in the outer court, they were taking away the ability for any Gentiles to worship Jesus or to worship God. Let me not say Jesus. They didn't know that they needed to be worshiping Jesus. Forced to have it. But they were taking away the Gentiles' place to worship fully. To spend their intentional time with the Lord. The Jews could still go in the temple. They were fine.
Mm-hmm.
He was mad that they were taking that away from everyone else. They were failing. They weren't doing their job. Mm-hmm. It says, Jesus exclaims, "My house will be called a house of prayer for all nations." He drives away the sellers. It's God's plan for Israel to be a people who showcase God's glory to the nations around them. Their conduct is meant to draw people to worship, not draw them away. To me, immediately I was like...
Essentially, he was fighting for us.
Yeah.
I mean...
Because I put that, look, I said, that's the only place I would have been allowed to worship. Mm-hmm. I guess I could have left that. Listen, guys, this is why I watch Shannon writing Psalms, and I'm like, you write it, girl. I'm not writing it.
I love to write, though.
I could have been a doctor. Nobody would have been able to read it. Well, see, I work with builders. We build houses, so, you know, maybe that's the thing. Now, people can read my handwriting, but it's just bad. Like, it's not good. Even my cursive isn't good, and I can write in cursive. It's just not good. Well,
I go back and forth between print and cursive in the same word.
That's what I do. If I'm writing cursive, too, it's a little bit of everything together. So I love journaling in my Bible. Y'all have seen that. But that's for me. If I was writing the Bible or books of the Bible, I'd be like, oh, I don't like the way that... It'd be a whole bunch of white out, me trying to make things perfect. It wouldn't be. I know that about myself. But when he said they're meant to draw people to worship and not drive them away, I was like, dang. Mm-hmm. How many times, not now, because I hope I'm doing a good job now, but previously when I was doing all the things and going to church on Sundays, but I was essentially raising hell Monday through Saturday, how many times did I take someone away from God because they were like, oh, there must not be anything there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not about you, but I'm just saying.
I know what you mean.
In general, yeah. Our conduct is also meant to draw people in to worship God and not away.
Mm-hmm. So, the temple was meant to be a beacon of light, but for both Jews and Gentiles. The Jews had failed to live out their intended purpose as God's people, which, that would be horrible. And the next is talking about the barren fig tree, which was in Mark 11:12-14, and how that describes the Jews' failures. That tree was supposed to bear fruit. It was supposed to feed and nourish, which is what the Jewish people were supposed to do. It looked like it was healthy, but it was not bearing any actual fruit. And I literally underneath it wrote, ouch, how often in my life have I been that barren fig tree? Which we've talked about, and I'm like, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that barren fig tree. We'll get to it today, but I want to be the woman anointing
Mm-hmm.
not the fig tree that looks healthy and is dead. A little bit further over, it says, Jesus' actions in the temple are meant to purify it and restore the temple to its original purpose. Jesus' actions contribute to his coming crucifixion, as Mark 11:18 states that the religious leaders start looking for a way to kill him in response. With this flipping tables, that's what starts the plot that leads to his death.
Mm-hmm.
Which I knew that, but I feel like it started a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It was just building to that point, just through reading. I'm like, oh, but it was really coming for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But through his death, he provides the ultimate cleansing for all of us. Mm-hmm. He cleansed that temple that started what was going to lead to his death and resurrection so that he could cleanse us all. And we all know that he knows all things. He knew all things. He still knows all things. But do you think that he thought about it that way? Like, was he like, let me cleanse this temple so that I can cleanse these people? Like,
right.
Sometimes just rabbit holes, guys. Rabbit holes is where we go.
We do, but that's okay, because that means that we're thinking and we're analyzing and we're wondering, and that's what eventually leads to further study anyway.
I know. I love it. And that's why, like I've said before, down the hole tab, that's where we go. We down the hole, rabbit holes, tangents, that's where we go. It's all good. Funnily enough, if you look back at our videos, which I have downloading so that I could put them on the YTube. I'm like, oh, a lot of our tangents stay on topic. Some of them don't. But a lot of them do. It says Jesus is the perfect sacrifice on the cross because he always worshiped God completely. He succeeds where Israel fails. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, oh. Thank you.
Yeah, because we would never measure up on our own. I mean, never.
It's still mind-blowing that we measure up at all, even with him.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Even with his help and his love. How do I rank good enough?
Right. Don't get up here. That's my cat. Don't get
up. The cat likes to play. The cat wants to be in this study, okay?
Yeah, she needs Jesus, that's for sure.
The last paragraph of this I'm going to read in full, guys, because it says, if we are in Christ, our sins are cleansed, and we are restored to a right relationship with God. In light of this, we are enabled to worship God rightly and be the flourishing people that God created us to be. So as we journey to the empty grave this week, we have the opportunity to give God our true worship by obeying his commands, praising him, and caring for the people around us. This worship will in turn act as a beacon, drawing unbelievers to come and know the God we love and serve. And I'm about to cry again because it's set. As we journey to the empty grave, we have the opportunity.
That's a big, I mean, not only is it a big responsibility, but it's a big opportunity. Like, look at what we can possibly do. I mean,
we have to be that beacon. Mm-hmm. And we remember all Becky's things. And And it took me a minute. I obeyed tonight.
What did you do in obedience?
Reached out to and invited people that I don't even really speak to church, and just told them it's not about us. It's not about me. It's not about our relationship. He's been yelling at me, and then I changed it. I said sternly talking to. Just, you know, you don't have to come to mine. Just, there's hundreds of churches, go to one.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pray for you. I hope that you find a relationship with him. And it sounds very easy. And honestly, it was these studies and the fact that 2 kids that I teach, well, I don't teach them, I teach one of them, but in Kids Point, just had these little cards that we have at church, and they were at one of the parks. They're just little square cards for Easter service. And they both had a bunch of them in their pocket and just started passing them out to people at the park. Their grandma didn't even know that they had them. And I was like, these kids, they're like, we go here. We'd love for you to come for Easter. I'm like, they have no problem.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with me? And I had to just get out of my own stuff.
Well, I think it's harder for adults, though, because I don't know if it's because we have more of an awareness of people's reactions and whatever, but I think it's easy. I mean, I hate to just.
It can be easier for kids, I think. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you see sometimes, I've watched people. We do have to be that baby kind of brave.
Mm-hmm.
And pushed me. This particular paragraph pushed me. He been yelling at me. Y'all, I've been talking about this for how long? And I was like, well, it's time. So I did it.
Well, good for you.
But I am proud of myself that I did it, and they can go from there, and I'm just going to continue to pray. I got all the peoples that I needed to get, I think. It's easier for me to talk to people I don't know. So I'm going to go on to our first question, and that is, what is currently keeping you from worshiping God fully? And for me, I just need to be better at listening the first time and not making him and myself wait on my obedience. I'm bad about that. It is a fault that I have. I am forever making him and myself wait. And then the second question is, how can you be a light to unbelievers around you this week by your worship? And I just put that even in my work signature line at work, people know. I share Jesus there. I need to be better at, this is what I was just talking about, that I need to be better at sharing Jesus, even with the ones that I have boundaries set with, even with, I need to get out of my own head, and it's not about me. And I just have to it's not about you. It's not about you, Becky. So I have to keep continually telling myself it's not about me. I'm going to go ahead and move on to this next picture, and then I'll move on to today's day. But our next artwork says, Jesus was the perfect sacrifice on the cross because he worshiped God completely. And this was just when he was cleansing the temple. I know it's crooked, but I don't know how to get it uncrooked. I'm trying, guys. So we're going to move on to today, which is Jesus is anointed at Bethany. And our verse is Mark 14, 3 through 11. And I'm going to read it in ESV. And it is, I'm going to read 1 through 11. So it is the plot to kill Jesus. It was now 2 days before the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And the chief priests and the scribe were seeking how to arrest him by stealth and kill him. For they said, "Not during the feast, lest there be an uproar from the people." And while he was at Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, as he was reclining at the table, a woman came with an alabaster flask of anointment of pure nard. Very costly, she broke the flask and poured it over his head. There were some who said to themselves indignantly, "Why was this ointment wasted like this? For this ointment should have been sold for more than 300 denarii and given to the poor." And they scolded her. But Jesus said, "Leave her alone. Why do you trouble her? She has done a beautiful thing to me. For you always have the poor with you, and whenever you want, you can do good for them. But you will not always have me. She has done what she could. She has anointed my body beforehand for burial. And truly I say to you, wherever the gospel is proclaimed in the whole world, what she has done will be told in memory of her." Then it says, "Then Judas Iscariot, who was one of the 12, went to the chief priests in order to betray him to them. And when they heard it, they were glad and promised to give him money. And he sought an opportunity to betray him." And I'm just saying, I just wish to be the woman who anoints him. That's all, like,
hmm
the contradiction between her and Judas.
hmm
So it starts. Oh, did you want to go over your questions before I go any further?
I mean, we can go on, but like on that first question,
Yeah.
what is currently keeping you from worshiping God fully? I don't. So in my home, I feel like I worship God fully.
Uh-huh.
But I will say, and this may not even be what this question is asking, but like when I'm at any church, I mean, I want to raise my hands a lot of times, and I don't. And by not doing that, I feel like I'm not worshiping Him as fully as I want to. Not that as I have to, but as I want to. And that only comes down to being uncomfortable with it around other people, you know? And that comes down to what we talked about one night with pride. You know,
Uh-huh.
it's the opposite of pride, where you're concerned about what somebody's going to think, or you don't want somebody looking at you, or so. I mean, I know that I know I can worship Him more fully here in my home, in my Bible study, in my prayer time. I know I can always do that, but I don't really
You
feel.
have a hard time just
hmm
letting go,
and I
even
want
in
to.
church. So, because there are some churches that are different. So in our church now, I don't have a problem with that. In my previous church, I wanted to, but I never would have because nobody
Else did.
else was. And I was like, "Oh, am I just not allowed to do that here? Is this just in my head?"
hmm
And listen, I grew up Southern Baptist. You didn't dance in church. And I'm moving, okay? Um, so I think some of that, I understand what you're saying there. But girl, raise them hands.
yeah.
I promise you, when we got that road trip, we gonna have windows down, hands be out the window.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming.
It's coming.
But I do understand because I would probably feel the same way if there was like nobody around me. But also, I think that it's amazing that if you did,
hmm
the amount of people you might see that actually start to also.
Possibly.
Because people,
But you know,
a lot of people,
these little small country
yeah,
churches
yeah.
are, you know.
Let's go, Tab.
To the bayou with worship flags and let you really go wild.
Let's go. Let's go. Um, all right, so we read the verses for day 37, which is today. And it starts with, when you are going through a difficult season, there is nothing better than receiving small reminders that there's still good in the world. And that is 100% true. We need glimmers of hope to help us face pain caused by sin in the world, and to point us to the truth that goodness will return. Sometimes when we're having those really tough struggles, and it could be something, I think that sometimes it's even worse if it's hard for you and nobody else can understand why you're having a hard time with it. Because then they're like, you just need to get over it.
Right.
Like, can you just tell me you love me
Mm-hmm.
and it'll be okay?
Yeah, don't be like Job's friends.
Yeah.
Be like Job's friends for the first 7 days. Just sit in silence with me. Be there to comfort me.
Yeah.
But don't start talking.
Right.
And
I think I do that also, because, and I know that I do it with my husband, and I know that it's got Back Row Baptist here. My hands are up in worship.
Wait, let me see.
It does.
Oh,
It happens. That's why I said sometimes if you do it, somebody else will do it faithful.
and
but
what
I know
Tab
that
said above that is so true. Prayers that you get so lost in worship that you're more aware of Him than them, because we're not supposed to
Amen,
be
Tab.
aware of them.
Yeah, they don't care. If they're looking at you, they're not getting
They're
the
not focused
message.
on the right thing. That's right.
Yeah, they're not getting it. But I forgot. Listen, guys.
Squirrel.
I just went off. I was saying that I know that I do this to my husband because he'll be having a bad day or something. He wants to talk about it. I'm like, it's really not that bad. It's okay. Like, just thinking that I'm helping.
But not.
They ain't no looking at
They ain't
I
no
was like
looking
the
at him.
Edna. Look,
Edna.
Tab's sick.
Oh,
She's
they
like,
are
I
not.
need the medicine.
I thought she just was trying to emphasize it. They ain't no looking at him.
They ain't no. And I do that with people. I'm like, let me try and make it better. It's really not as drastic as you think. And I really dislike when people do that to me. And I do it. Just thinking that, and I did it to him, I think today, it might have been yesterday. It was one of these days. And I was like, it's really not that bad. Let's just do this. It'll be okay. And I know it's got to be frustrating to him because it's frustrating to me when people do it to me. So why am I doing it? I'm trying.
Well, sometimes
I'm realizing now after the fact, but I really do think that I'm
trying to comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm trying, like, it's not as bad as you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be okay.
But really, to them,
we can figure it out. And it is.
Yeah.
And I have to get better at, I'm like, let me have my feelings, but everybody else's feelings, I'm like, the feelings aren't right. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me tell you what my husband does. Now, I try not to talk about school a lot to him because, number one, I know he doesn't care. He doesn't care about listening to me talk about teaching all the time. So I just don't. So I vent to my best friend every week when we eat. But every once in a while, I'll come home from a really bad day, and he'll say, "Did you have a bad day?" And I'll say, "Yeah," and I'll tell him. And this is his response. He's watching TV, so maybe he won't hear me, but he says, "Well, you ought to be around them and try to get them to do stuff when they're old." Okay. I'm talking about my bad day. You know, I had a bad day with 6-year-olds. I don't care when they're 26 and 46. Okay, but that's what he's comparing it to because that's who, has always worked for him as adult. Right. So that's his comfort.
Yeah.
His comfort
and
is
he's trying. He's like, yeah, it's worse when they're adults, and I get that because I do that in different ways. But I'm basically telling my head, well, if they were adults, it would be worse.
Yeah.
I'm basically doing that. Yeah. And I need to stop. I need to tell him when I get done. I know you hear me. I'm sorry. But I do that because I feel like I'm trying to comfort you and make it so that you're not so worried about that thing.
Mhm. And sometimes we don't know anything else to say, and we feel like we
Mhm.
have to say something. And
Yeah.
so we come up with the closest thing we can come up with, like, well, you ain't got as
Yeah.
bad as I do.
I think I'm giving you goodwill. I think I'm helping you.
Right.
But then I see his face and I'm like, I didn't help. But even right then, I'm like, I don't know what to say now. So I just leave it. So then when I was reading this tonight, I was like, oh, Becky, you do that all the time. And then I was like, Lord, you got to call me out again. I just listened. Why are you calling me out again? It says, in recounting the story of a woman's extravagant gift during the darkest week of his life, this passage reminds us of the glory that is to come for Jesus in spite of the shame of the cross. And I read that a couple times because I was like, with the shame. It's our shame. I was like, why are they saying he was shameful? Like, I read it wrong.
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh, you're talking about me. It was our fault. It was our shame.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay, thanks. So it says on the first day, we read about him entering Jerusalem, his final destination on his journey to the cross. And everything that happens in the Gospels between his triumphal entry and his death points towards the gut-wrenching climax of Jesus' story. And I was like, did you have to? And it is gut-wrenching.
And I think we, just as a people, as humans in the flesh, are so desensitized to what actually took place a lot of times because because we just weren't there, we didn't physically see it, or because we've read about it so much, we've just come to accept the fact that that's what happened and it was part of history and it was, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like my own self is desensitized toward it because if we really thought about what he did and what he went through for us, we would be crying all the time. If we really understood it.
It would be.
Mm-hmm.
This is that artwork that Tabitha and I were talking about when she texted me that we just love this artwork and I wish to be her and not the fig tree in my life. There's a smaller version of it and I got highlighter all over it, people, so I showed you the better picture. I normally put a piece of paper in there but I forgot. And Jesus tells them, listen, my story, she's always going to be in it. She always has a part in it. She will always be told in this story. And it goes on to say, Mark tells us very little. And he did. He could have said some more. He told us very little. But Jesus told his disciples to tell her story as the gospel is proclaimed. And I love that it says that the story is so short. So some people may not understand why she needs to be in it at all. And I love that they break it down. So it says that it shows three major contrasts. First, we get the disciples' response and how indignant they are, how repulsed they are that she's doing this. This money should go to the poor. How dare she do this? And then we get, even though a lot of Jesus's teaching has to do with giving to the poor, helping others, he rebukes them and he says to them, she's done a noble and lovely thing. While her intentions for the anointing aren't told, Jesus asserts that she has prepared him for burial. And I'm just wondering, did it go over all their heads? We're talking about the alabaster jar.
I think
hope you had a good time at the refinery. This is the artwork that's in the picture.
Hey, Judge. I think it did go over their heads.
That is your tattoo. It's one. I've been looking at one.
The only tattoo I'll ever put on my body is a stick-on because me and needles are not friends.
Oh, I was hoping we could get one in Louisiana.
I'll get a stick-on tattoo.
Get a stick on. But he rebukes them. He tells them that she prepared him for burial. And the fact is that her doing this extravagant devotion to him is more valuable than any money that could have been given to the poor at that time. And that's just, she did nothing except give the only thing she had to give. And that's the most valuable thing. It wasn't about the money. She knew that he was worth everything. He was worth everything to her, everything that she had. In contrast, Judas was like, how much you going to give me?
Mm-hmm.
How much money can I get? And you can have him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the second contrast. It's between her devotion to him and his devotion to just getting that money. And how often are people all about that money?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter what they have to do. Doesn't matter who they have to hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It's just about them. Third is the contrast between his anointing, this honorable, beautiful thing that she did for him, and the shameful
Mode of execution.
just what we did was horrible. But her doing that to him, that just symbolized a great honor. And it goes on to remind us that in the Old Testament, anointings the head with oil were only done for priests and kings, designated for their honorable duties, right? So Jesus was not like, oh, she sees me as a king. Mm-hmm. That's not what he saw it as. He saw it as a sign of her honor to him, her reverence to him, which, again, it says is in stark contrast to the gruesome and shameful way that we kill him. And I'm going to keep saying we, because it's our fault he was on that cross too.
Right, yeah.
And I think it's very easy for people to forget. They're like, I wasn't there. Right. I didn't do it. I didn't say I don't know him. You say you don't know him every day.
Right.
The way you act says it. I did it, so I can tell you you're doing it. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we're supposed to flip tables, and it gets uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. I posted something today because if you are doing something or saying something that you would not want done or said about you, or that you would not be okay doing in front of Jesus, then you know you're not supposed to be doing it.
I've also heard, and I think some people should think of it this way, especially if they're not following closely with Jesus, but don't say or do anything that you wouldn't want your grandmother or your grandfather to see you do or hear you, you know?
Yeah, I think people get caught up in what people can see, and they forget that the stuff that they think they're doing in the dark isn't seen. He still sees it. He knows you're doing it. Mm-hmm. I live in a glass house. I'm not throwing a stone at you, but I love you, and I need to tell you. This isn't right. Mm-hmm. And you know it's not. I know when I'm doing something wrong that is not right.
Yeah.
Anyway, tangent number 5,686 of the Bible study.
But they're all good. They're all good.
They are, and they're true. It says all three of these contrasts point towards the ultimate contrast, the terrible nature of Jesus's death and the beautiful restoration that it provides. What we did to him was horrendous. For him to give us the most amazing gift that you will ever receive in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And we do not deserve it. But he loves us and he believes we do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's amazing to me. Only the grotesque death-like crucifixion could truly highlight the glory of what death would accomplish and overcome. Jesus takes away the power of sin. He frees us from it, and he gives us hope for complete removal. And it goes on and says, as we spend the final week meditating on the crucifixion, and I do not believe that people meditate on that enough.
Right. Yeah, because I think we skip over it to the resurrection.
Yes, we do, because the crucifixion is horrible, and that points out to us all of our wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not going to talk about that. We don't need to know about that. I sent something that I did with my Vacation Bible School class that I did years and years ago. I sent it, and we're going to do it on Easter Sunday, which I think will be amazing for the kids to see. But it's the iodine and the bleach, and it's a jar of iodine. You pour the bleach over it, it wipes away the sin, right? Have you seen that?
I haven't.
I'll show you because I have to videotape it.
Oh, yes.
So I'll show you, but I might have a video of it also. I think I have the video that I sent to them asking if we could do it. But I think that that's amazing, because I think if you can see something,
Mm-hmm.
it's easy for us to tell the stories, to show what happened. But I think kind of seeing the blood wash everything away,
Mm-hmm.
that visual, I think, will help the
Yeah.
kids kind of to understand.
Mm-hmm. It gives
I
them
think
more
it
of a
helps
concrete.
adults to understand.
Yeah.
It's something to see and to get. But we don't focus on the crucifixion at Easter. We focus on the resurrection.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I said crucifixion earlier. Very sorry, I made up words, guys.
That's okay. I mean, you can add syllables. That's fine.
Syllables, vowels, all the things. But we don't, and I think that we don't, because
it's messy.
It's messy, it's horrible, it's grotesque, it's not the good. It shows our bad.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't focus on that, and I think that more often we do just focus on the hope, that resurrection.
Right.
And I think that maybe more often we need to actually look at and study that crucifixion and what was done to him. And the last part of this says, the story of this woman can serve as a model for us all, reminding us that although our world is full of sin, death, and betrayal, our future is secure because of what was accomplished on the cross. In response, we can pour out our adoration and devotion upon Jesus for all he has done for us. The very least we can do.
Right.
The very least is to share him. Mm-hmm. What is the worst that's going to happen?
I think the worst that would happen in our country is just to be ridiculed. I mean, because we're free to share. Yeah.
I had kids. You can't hurt me.
You can't humiliate me.
You can't humiliate me. I have lost people that I love.
Mm-hmm.
You can't hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
But I want all the souls. I want you in heaven. So right. I'm gonna tell you, you don't have to listen. That is your choice. but I don't want anyone to. I need fidget spinners or something, by the way, guys. My
You
hands
don't
are
see
just.
how you don't see how I reach for stuff all the time and I put things down and I used to
Yeah.
not do that.
I do all kinds of things with my hands. That's why I talk with them, I think. But the very least I can do for him after everything he has done for me is to share him. And it was a very long time that I was just like, this is not my business.
Mm-hmm.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
He loves you, so I'm going to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if I have boundaries with you. It doesn't matter if I'm not somebody you want in your life, or I've decided that you're not good for mine. I still need to tell you about Jesus. And it's not easy, guys.
Well, to me, it's easier to do it
Yeah,
online, way easier than in
it
person.
is. And just having a conversation. I've had people message me that said, "What Bible is that you journaled in?" Or even though it's in the
Right.
title, like just asking,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like, what church do you go? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what's your denomination? I don't really. All
Mm-hmm.
the thing Christian.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Jesus. I follow
Just follow
Jesus,
it. Yeah.
bro. Um, but if one of those people who have flipped through and stayed for a second is like, let me go to church on Easter. I did what he told me to do.
Mm-hmm. Something that when I went and picked up supper tonight and I ran into somebody from our little town and she goes to the church, the little small church that I used to go to. Um, and it reminded me, I had forgotten about this, but that little church will have a sunrise service on Sunday morning, but then they don't have a regular service. And she's disappointed in that because and I agree with her because she said that a lot of people only come to church on either Christmas or Easter,
A
and
lot of people do.
it's the perfect opportunity to have the
Well,
doors open and have a service.
it is. Like, you should definitely have at least. I love when sunrise services are had. I told you when I saw Tabitha post hers, I was like, maybe I'll just tell them about Tabs. I didn't. I sent them the link to our church, the service times. I didn't just say go to Tab's house. um, but I did think about it. Not gonna lie, because he knows it. Um, but I love sunrise service. Tabs is sunrise on Sunday. I'll send you the link. It's on her page though. It's at her house. I can't go because I'll be at the church. Because we'll get there at like 7. But I think that you should at least have, if you're going to have a sunrise service, at least have like a 9 o'clock or a 10 o'clock service or something. Because also, sometimes people that have little kids can't get there at sunrise.
Right.
Not even little kids. Sometimes people just can't get up for sunrise.
Right.
So yeah, I think that that's a missed opportunity because the first time I went back to church was last Easter. It had been, I have to ask my husband, probably 10 years since we had been to church. And I just told him, I was like, look, I want to go to church on Easter. And I told him, I was like, if you don't want to, that's okay. Like, I just feel like I need to be there. And he's very much been like, if you want to, I'll do this with you. I want to do this with you. Like, and I'm thankful and grateful for that, but I was not going to push it on him either.
Right.
Because I didn't like things being pushed on me. That made it worse for me.
Yeah.
But it was Jodeci's church, and I was like, I think we're going to come to church on Easter. And I think she was probably in shock. She's probably like, what? What do you mean? But we did. And then it took us we didn't really start going until about 2 months ago, like
On a regular
fully
basis.
going every week.
Hmm.
I was praying about where to go. I mean, the kids did invite us. I'm gonna
When
need
did you
Mercy to call Rachel.
when did you start getting into your Bible again?
I really started getting into it last October. Um,
So
when
before you started going to church on a regular basis.
I saw the 40-40
Hmm.
challenge, and it was John, and I knew that I loved the Gospels. So I was like, let me do it. And I used to journal in my Bible, not like I do now,
Hmm.
but I was like, let me do this. And Jodeci got the stuff to do it with me, but she does have three littles. At that time, she was working a full-time job and photography and church, that she wasn't really able to do it the full thing with me because she was going to go live with me.
Hmm.
And that's when I found out that you had to go live for so many minutes before you could invite people to do it with you. So I like left my live up for like 30 minutes one night just with nobody talking. It was just looking at my ceiling, just so I could get
That's the way to trick the system.
Listen, I did it. But then she just wasn't able to because three littles.
Yeah.
Um, so she did join that one with me, and then I finished that one, and I did their Advent, which I really loved. And then January they started with Acts, so I did Acts, and now I currently have Genesis and Exodus to do, but I want to do Matthew, Mark, and Luke first.
Hmm.
And then I may or may not, I definitely did, just got the Psalm challenge.
I saw something today that I wanted to buy. I can't even remember what it was.
I
I
don't know.
didn't.
I wanted to buy that purse. They keep showing me things. I don't need it. I have 4 purses sitting right here next to me. I don't.
We're not going to call that a purse. The video you sent me, we're not going to
Yes,
call
but
it a purse. We're going to
I
call it a
have a
Bible bag.
Bible. I have a Bible bag.
But do you have a Bible bag and a purse, a combo?
You're not
I'm not
helpful.
helping the cause. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's when I really got back into my Bible study and journaling. Yes, I have 10. Why are you just, don't call me
She's
out.
got 10.
But actually getting back into my Bible and doing the studying, that's what made me want to actually be in a church around people. I love my husband to death, but we're in the house all day together.
Oh, he works from home too?
He works from home too. He works for himself. And so we need to be around other people. We're human. We need to be around other people. And I want to be around other people that believe in Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plus, where we live, I don't know where else we'd go.
Mm-hmm.
The bowling alley closed. I can't be on a bowling league. I cannot skate. I mean, I can skate, but I'm not allowed to skate.
Uh-huh.
So no, that's not why I go to church. I just thought that was funny. But I do like that we're around people, and I really love working with kids. And that
I do too. Most of them.
Listen, yours is a little bit. I get them on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yours is a little different.
Well, I taught a 3rd through 6th grade Wednesday night class for about a year and a half.
Did you?
And once we got in my room and we started, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved it. I would have between 6 and 10 each Wednesday night, just depending. But what I didn't enjoy was before we got in our classroom for it, the fellowship hall with serving them supper and the loudness, and it just the unruliness, and I so after a year and a half, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I cannot teach every day and then come on Wednesday night. And I thought about just skipping the supper portion of Wednesday night and only coming when my class was coming into my room. I thought about doing that, and then I thought, well, that's sort of not nice because, not enough hands to serve and
Yeah.
all. So I just quit altogether, which really wasn't, but I just couldn't do it. I feel
You'll
like when
figure it
you're in the
out.
house of God, it is to be respected. When you're in any building, and there's just so many kids now that are not taught voice levels inside and how not to run
I'm the worst person to teach a voice level.
because you're loud. Well, I'm loud too, but
Oh, wow. I found this shirt that I wish to purchase for myself, but I have not done it yet. But it says, "My worship is loud because my scars were deep."
I saw that too. Like TikTok is sending us the same stuff. I see it on my feed
Yeah,
too.
they're trying to get me.
Do you want me to add it to my showcase for you?
I want to be able to have a showcase so somebody else can pay for my stuff
Yeah, well, you'll get there.
eventually. I don't if I can get a soul in heaven, that's more important.
You're right.
But yeah, they keep showing me the things that I need. Um so our question, I'm gonna get us back on track. That was a
Okay.
tangent, but it was a good tangent, guys, because we learned some information. Um Do you
And
find it easier to focus on the ugliness of sin and the cross or on the beauty of the restoration we find in Jesus? Why do you think that is? And I put that's hard to answer. I do feel like I focus on both because we are how horrible and broken we can be, but no matter what, he loves us, died for us, rose for us, and how amazing is that gift?
Mhm.
Um, I don't think that it's easier to focus on one or the other. I think it's easier to say, "Oh, he rose for us," and not focus on the actual crucifixion.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't think it's easier for me to focus on the ugliness of sin or the restoration. I feel like I do both. Um, but again, if they had asked me this question at the beginning of this study, the answer would probably be different.
Mhm.
I do think I've gotten a lot of information out of this. What do you got?
Well, I feel like that I probably do focus more on the resurrection and what he did for us on the cross. But let me just tell you a quick little story. When
Go
I
ahead.
first rededicated my life to Christ, I had not been in the Bible before that. So even when I had gone to a church every now and then to watch our kids in a play or a performance, I still was not in the Word.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I rededicated my life in 2014 and I started reading the Bible, well, I didn't even find this out from the Bible. I found it out from a song. When the veil was torn, when that was sang in the song, I was like, what does that mean? What veil are they talking about? Like, I had no clue what that song was talking about. And I asked one of the ladies that God put in my life to bring me back to Christ. And when she told me, I was like, oh my goodness. So now I feel like that's one of my biggest focuses when we're talking about the crucifixion and the resurrection, or the crucifixion, is just how powerful was that for that veil to be torn, so that we can walk with God and be in his presence. And so I focus on that, the
Yeah,
tearing of the veil.
that's amazing. That's a good answer. I love that answer. Tab, we'll get your answer on Friday. I hope you're feeling better
I
then.
know.
Um,
Get well soon.
yeah. What is you want to go into the next question?
Yeah, sometimes I feel like even though the questions are obviously trying to ask something different from each other, but like, what might it look like for you to balance a right understanding of sin with a rich appreciation of God's grace and love in your own life? I mean, just what does it look like to balance anything? It's hard to balance things in my life because I'm either all into this or I'm all into this, or I'm trying to juggle 5 different things. So balancing what I know about sin with his grace and love, I sort of just feel like I mesh it together.
I do too.
Yeah, I mesh
I
it.
literally it's kind of together for me.
Yeah.
Because
There's not one without the other.
yeah, and I do believe that I'm more likely to catch myself now. I'll find myself talking or thinking and just go, I'm sorry, God. Like, please, I'm sorry. Because I know I shouldn't be thinking that or saying that, or I got so, our son is grown, right? I got so mad at him the other day, and I reverted back to my working for a construction company sailor self, and the words were just coming out, and I was like, I haven't spoken like that. I've been trying very hard not to, and just fully apologizing because I don't want to.
Right.
It's how am I praising you and doing that? So again, I fail. I'm not perfect, but it kind of goes together, because now when I do that, now when I catch myself, when I'm doing something that's wrong, I don't want to be doing it.
Right. You froze.
And I wish to stay that way. Huh?
You're unfrozen now.
Oh, I froze. Of course I froze. Why wouldn't I? But I just feel like, so now I catch myself.
Yeah.
Where I wouldn't have before, it wouldn't have bothered me. So I'm like you. It kind of meshes together. But I'm glad it meshes, because if it didn't for me, I wouldn't. For me, that meant I didn't care that it was a sin when I was doing it. So I'm glad it's meshed, because when it wasn't, I wasn't thinking about or caring. So that is it for today's service. I'm going to show the alabaster jar photo again, or painting again, not jar. I know it's crooked. Dang it. I'm trying, guys.
You're doing good.
It's when I flip it, it just gets backwards for me. So when we come back on Friday, we are going to be going over the Last Supper, and Fridays is Jesus is crucified. So Friday I'm gonna be a hot mess express. You probably gonna see the ugly cry. It's coming. Prepare yourselves. And then on Monday, when we do our final one on Monday, we shall talk about the resurrection. So I just want to thank everyone for coming. If you have any questions, if you need a church to attend, I can send you the link. You can watch ours online if you want to, if you're not going to go into one. If you have any questions, I know a bunch of places you can get Bibles. If you need a Bible, just let me know.
You know what? Somebody on my local Facebook feed, somebody on my Facebook feed that's local that I know, she was saying that a young girl in high school had come to her and talked to her about God and wanting a Bible. So she was asking if anybody had an NIV version that would be a study Bible that would be easy for this high school girl to understand. And there were so many people commenting about, yeah, I've got one. And so I told her that I probably did, just let me know if she couldn't find one. And then she edited her post and said that somebody had blessed the girl with not only a Bible, but just everything she needed to actually get in God's word and everything. I thought that was so wonderful.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Yeah, I've got the one here.
You've got one Bible?
No. There's like 3 extra over there, and then mine.
Oh, that's all you have is 4?
No.
Oh.
Mine. And then I have the 3 over there, and my husband's and my son's are in there. My daughter's is upstairs. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like we got some Bibles around here.
Look, I think that some people
What's a trend? What'd I miss?
What? It's a trend. What's a trend? I feel like you can never have too many Bibles. If you're going to spend your money on something.
And if you're going to study them, I think it's good to have different. Oh, having 10 of everything.
Oh, she's got 10.
So Jodeci had the kids here one day, and she was, um, her first baby will be graduating 5th grade. So they had them write letters to the kids. So she was sitting here while my husband babysits for her, even while I work. So we had Mercy in the other room. She was sitting here writing, and I was like, she hasn't said anything to me about all of the things. I was just like, there's pens and highlighters, there's stickers in that drawer if you want to put some stickers.
She was probably very overwhelmed.
She's like, hey, this is a lot. I need to. And that was after I had cleaned up some.
Yeah.
And it's not clean. It's not a mess, but I have stuff everywhere.
I do too.
I know where everything is, but
I don't. So you're ahead of me.
Listen, I know where you can ask me about it, and I know where it is.
I know where almost everything is.
But sorry, guys, another tangent. So we're gonna get off of here, and then when we come back, like I said, on Friday, we'll be doing the Last Supper and the crucifixion. So prepare yourselves. Why am I trying to say crucifixion? I don't know where that even came from.
Is that even a word?
Probably not. I just
It's a Becky word.
I make up the words. Like, what? It doesn't even look like that. Where did it come from? But so we were on the last little bit.
Yep. So we're gonna meet Friday night here.
Resurrection and crucifixion together.
And not in the
night tab. I hope you feel better.
Yeah.
Do you want to pray us out?
Wait, isn't it your turn?
I pray us in every time.
Oh, okay. Sure, I will.
Thanks.
Dear Lord, thank you for giving us this fellowship with this Bible study and for bringing all of us together and giving us this community. And please just help push Becky's Live out so that other people can see it and join in and share in your good news of the crucifixion and the resurrection of your son, Jesus. And Lord, we just ask that you also bring people in for our next Bible study that will be starting the second week in April, or the second full week in April. And we also just ask for just to nudge the hearts of those people that Becky has invited into a church, and just to surround them with your presence so much that they can't not, like they have to feel your presence, and just touch their heart and open their heart to you, and just do all of the work that Becky has planted a seed for, because we know that that's your job, and we know how powerful of a God we serve. And we just ask all of this in your son's name. Amen.
Amen. Next time you can pray us out, Jodeci.
Yeah, Friday night
you can pray us out.
Mm-hmm.
And perfect. I was going to say something. I forgot what it was, so it must not have been important.
Okay, well, before we go, I just want to tell anybody that is on the live, since I'm learning a little bit about the TikTok lives, that if you go up there, you see that white oval with the orange heart and it says join. When you tap on that, it's going to bring up a red button at the bottom that says send heart me and join. That is completely free. So watch what happens when I do that. Okay, it's going to bring up my white box. I hit the red button that says claim, and it sends you a little fan club thing above your head.
Oh, that's cute.
Okay. So then I have sent a heart me, which was totally free. And then whenever you're TAPPING on the screen in somebody's lives, that's totally free. And that goes up into the top left-hand corner with the white heart where the number of likes are up there. So it's 534.
Damon's teaching us things.
Yeah. So the more likes you get, the more the live gets pushed out on the FYP. And then when you claim that orange heart up there and you send the heart me, I think it's supposed to give you 45 free engagement points, which helps you out. It helps the person that's doing the live out, and then it also helps the person that just sent it. So it helps push content out. So
Well, maybe we just need to do a live and teach people about the lives one day too.
do
Because
you
that's
know
good
that's
information to know. Also, Shannon is now going live, but she decides to do it when Becky's asleep.
well, that's because I forgot last night, and then at 10 o'clock I was like, oh, I haven't done my live, and I've got to do that 3 days in a row. I don't really know why, but TikTok wants you to do it 3 days in a row when you get
It
started.
was the 3 days in a row thing, and then you can invite somebody on to be live with you.
Oh, okay. So tonight, when I go live in just a little bit, and you'll be in bed again because I didn't do it earlier today, it'll be my third time.
Well, I will happily hop on at least for a little bit if you do it when I'm awake.
I know, but see, I'm about to go into somebody else's live. Do you follow Millie? What's the rest of her username? Millie Southern Hearts or
I
something.
believe so, yes.
Yes. Okay. So she's on right now at 8 o'clock, and she's doing the Holy Week study this week, and hers is so good.
Oh, good. I haven't been able to watch it because I like when I get off after our studies, I go and spend some time with my husband. So
Oh yeah, my
on
husband.
our
does it.
nights, it's hard for me to do anything else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will try and get on hers again because I do think I'm following her.
Okay.
I'll
Yeah,
have to check.
I
But
love
share
her.
it to me so I can check.
Okay. I will.
All right. Thank you guys so much. I hope you have a great rest of your week. We will see you Friday at 8 p.m., 7 p.m. Central.
Yep. Bye.
Bye, guys.